Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Chris Evans. And welcome to Entertainment-30. I'm your host, Kenny Johnson. Hi, and welcome to Entertainment-30. I'm your host, Kenny Johnson. Joining me on our entertainment panel tonight are the three lovely ladies.
I'm Jenna LeMair.
I'm Alexis Pearson.
And I'm Saunders.
Now it's time to break down our top 2 stories that happened this week in our segment, Top 2. Yesterday, one of the biggest contenders for the Oscar season had its glammed out premiere. A Star is Born hosted a special showing of the movie which focuses on a singer's rise to fame. The movie stars Bradley Cooper as Jackson Maine and the one and only Lady Gaga as Allie. The music-filled romance drama is Cooper's directorial debut and will be released on October 5th. My question to you guys is, how excited are you for the show? And if it's nominated, what would you like to see it nominated for?
Well, I have 2 words, Lady Gaga. That's what I'm excited for. I don't really care what it's nominated for, as long as she gets some kudos for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I love Bradley Cooper, and I mean, Lady Gaga, I feel, is just like such a fun character. So like anything she's in, I feel like just makes it so much better because she's just so fun to watch. She's such a great performer and entertainer. And Bradley Cooper making his directorial debut, that's pretty exciting. Like anytime an actor moves into the behind-the-scenes stuff, there's so much fun stuff that goes on with that. Like John Krasinski, like he's done a lot of stuff like that now, and I just feel like it's really awesome to see that other side of the actors. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, piggybacking off that stuff, it's really cool. This is right before Oscar season, though, so you gotta wonder. This does have a lot of potential, but is it premiering too early? Kenny, what do you think about that?
I think we're just almost there to Oscar season. You have A Star is Born. You also have A Beautiful Boy, which is going to be about 2 weeks after that, which stars Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet as well. So I think we're just about to get to our Oscar season, and it's interesting to see what will happen with that. Well, the Netflix hit documentary series, The Making a Murderer, is coming back with a season 2. It's been 3 years since The Haunting show aired back in 2015, but now the show is greenlit for a 10-episode season. The premiere date for Making a Murderer, season 2, will be October 19th. Alexis, spill it all about Making a Murderer.
I am so excited about this. I don't know about you guys, but when the first season came out, I binge watched it. I was super pumped. It was super thrilling. It was entertaining. It was a little funny too, which you don't normally get that with those kind of TV shows. And I remember when the last episode ended, the classic what am I gonna do now that this season is over with? And I can't believe it's already been 3 years. I feel like at the same time it hasn't been that long, but I'm really excited to see this come out because I feel like it's gonna be just as good as the first season.
All I want to say is, how do Netflix keep these big shows a secret? I just found this out on Facebook, and I'm like, this show, the first season was such a bop, and the second season, it's only a month away. Why didn't they tell this a year in advance? But it's kind of nice that it's kind of a surprise, so we have less of a wait.
I feel like they do that because everyone is so shocked, they just want to run to it. They don't have enough time to be like, oh, I can't wait. Maybe I'll watch it with friends. I feel like once they drop it so suddenly, everyone's like, oh my God, I gotta watch this now. I mean, Making a Murderer is such a hit. I feel like that was one of maybe Netflix's first original content or movies that it's just kind of I gotta do it, or I gotta watch it right now.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. And for someone who hasn't seen Making a Murderer, what is your biggest pitch for the show, Alexis?
Oh boy, I mean, there's so much to love about it. The people that it focuses on are just really interesting characters, in general. It kind of feels at the same time they are a character more than just this average person. But I mean, it's so interesting because the evidence that comes to the table, it makes you really wonder. You don't really know which side to be on. And a lot of times, it's okay, they're definitely guilty, they're definitely innocent, and this one is so in between that you don't know whose side you want to be on, and that's why I loved it.
All right, great. Well, coming up after the break, find out what new TV show is the new must-watch miniseries. Stay tuned.
Week in Review starts right now.
Welcome to Week in Review,
where we take a look back at the top stories of the week.
My name is Ben Henry. Alongside me is Emilio Ramos.
Well, the temperature is not that cold, even though it is snowing like crazy.
On WCHA conference rival, Bemidji State.
Thank you for joining us for UTVS News Week in Review. We'll see you back here Monday at 4:30.
Now we are diving into the TV and movie news that broke this week. Starting on the TV side with a Netflix hit. Netflix is back at it again, releasing a new stellar original series, Maniac. And that stars Emma Stone and Jonah Hill as participants in a pharmaceutical drug test. The futuristic limited series currently consists of 10 episodes, and it's must-watch TV. Emma Stone and Jonah Hill are also joined with actor Justin Theroux and actress Sally Field. Bree, what do you have to say about Maniac?
Well, Kenny, this is on my to-do list to watch, but I will say it's amazing how Netflix is able to get these huge A-list actors to do shows that just, like we said before, they just kind of pop up. Emma Stone and Jonah Hill, they did Superbad back, in the early 2000s, so it's really cool to see them again. And Emma Stone's hair, can we talk about this for a second?
Yes.
Alexis, what do you have to say about that?
Oh, it's gorgeous. I mean, they play a lot of different kind of like characters in the show, but man, her hair, I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to dye my hair blonde first, and then I need to curl it like that because it was so gorgeous. Yes. I'm obsessed with this show. Like, literally, I started watching it, I think like 2 nights ago. As soon as you told me, watch this show, I was like, I'm on it. I started watching it. I'm obsessed. I'm already halfway through. I think I'm on episode 5 or 6. It is so good. I think the best thing about it is Jonah Hill's character, simply because, in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people would agree, he plays a lot of the same characters over and over again. He's the funny guy, the obnoxious guy, and you see him in that role a lot. Whether you like him in that or not is your opinion. But in this, he plays this very depressed person. He has schizophrenia. There's a lot going on. He's thinner than he has ever been before. So he is just a totally different person. And normally, I'm not a big Jonah Hill fan. I love him in this. I'm obsessed with it.
That's kind of nice or enlightening for someone like me to hear, where I'm more so on the side that's not super sure about Jonah Hill. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he plays something completely different shows that he is a versatile actor, and I like that. So hearing what you guys have to say about it, and I haven't seen it, I've watched the preview, which looks really intense. I'm all for giving it a go.
Yeah, it's a shame though that it came out right after Emmy season, because this show could win it all. Well, keeping on the same track with TV shows on streaming services, Marvel Studios announced 2 new ambitious projects, premiering exclusively on the soon-to-be Disney streaming service. Marvel announced 4 days ago that they will produce 2 standalone shows using 2 fan-favorite characters. The 2 separate shows will focus around Loki and Scarlet Witch, with the original actors Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen returning. All right, Jenna, I know you don't know too much about Marvel, but what is your take on this standalone series?
Yeah, I'm not a huge superhero person. I don't watch a whole lot of movies like that, but this seems big, especially for people who are big on superhero movies and invested a lot of time and love, and I feel like Marvel fans are really passionate about Marvel. This seems big, and I think especially with Disney, this seems pretty successful. So
I feel like Disney doesn't really put out bad products very often, and anytime a decision like this is made, obviously they're probably thinking it's for the right reasons. And for, like Jenna said, I'm not a huge superhero person either. I go see the movies, I've watched most of them, although they're not my favorite. But for people who love the superhero movies, who love the Marvel characters, which there's a lot of people who do, I'm sure they're thrilled to be able to say, like, hey, there's a miniseries coming out with the same actors, same characters that I've watched in the movies. That's pretty exciting for somebody who likes that kind of stuff.
I think that's key, is the same actors, too.
Yeah, but you also got to think, it is a risk that Disney is making, and that's what I got to give that company credit for. They're always risk takers, and most of the time, let's be honest, they don't fail that often. So I definitely think that this is going to be a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah, we'll have to see when that comes out on the streaming service for sure. Well, the world got its first look at a Marvel Studios' first female lead superhero movie not too long ago. Captain Marvel, the Brie Larson-led superhero flick, takes place in the iconic 90s, which the trailer confirms in the first few seconds when Brie Larson crashes into a blockbuster. The trailer also brings back Samuel L. Jackson and Paul Gregg as Marvel icons Nick Fury and Agent Coulson to fight alongside Captain Marvel against a secret alien invasion. Captain Marvel crashes into theaters March 8th, 2019. Well, we're back on Marvel, you guys. We're moving into our movie news. Alexis, have you watched the trailer?
I did. I just watched it this morning, and like I just said, I'm not a huge superhero person, but this one looked good. As soon as it started and I heard Samuel L. Jackson's voice, I was like, heck yes, this is going to be good because he's in it. And you gotta love the female lead stuff. I mean, it's so cool to see that happening more and more these days. And I think it's interesting. It switches it up. It gives you something a little bit different. And I thought the trailer looked interesting. It was kind of cool. There was some kind of cool flashback stuff happening, and I don't know. It made me want to go see the movie, even though I'm not a huge superhero person. I think it could be pretty good.
I think that's a big step too that Marvel is taking, but they notice that they have to take is the female lead. I think that's something that everyone wants to see, male or female. So that's good that they're responding to what we want to see.
Yeah, and it is really good that they chose Brie Larson. She's had a couple really good years, starting with Room. She won the Academy Award for that 2 years ago. She's really breaking through, and a lot of people recognize her now. So what better way than to pick an actress that's up and coming and becoming pretty popular? So I think that was a good move on Marvel's part, for sure.
I mean, how often can you keep doing the same Spider-Man over like that? I mean, you see the same stuff over and over, the same superheroes, which obviously the people who love that stuff will keep watching them as they keep being remade. But introducing these new kind of superheroes.
For people like us.
Exactly, It's like, I want to see something new, I want to see something different, and this is the perfect kind of thing.
Well, of course, Well, on to more movie news. Mary Poppins returns. Disney's ambitious attempt to bring back the magical Mary Poppins back to theaters released a new trailer on a couple days ago. The Emily Blunt-led film tells the story of how now grown Jane and Michael Banks and their 3 kids, after experiencing personal loss, the family is visited once again by Mary Poppins. Emily Blunt is playing the iconic super nanny, and her megastar cast includes Lin-Manuel Miranda, Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, Angela Lansbury, and Dick Van Dyke. Brie, were you a Mary Poppins fan growing up? Did you grow up with the movie?
Yes, of course. I mean, it was a little before my time, but it's a Disney classic. My Nana and I would watch it, especially when it was rainy because of all the umbrellas in the movie. So it is really great. And when I heard Dick Van Dyke was coming back, he looks amazing at, what is he, 92 or something?
He's really old. That's all I have to say.
He looks amazing, but I mean, the casting was really well done. I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but I definitely will be grabbing my popcorn and scooting on over to the theater for that one.
Was I mistaken, or did I hear Meryl Streep?
But I only think she's just a side character. That's all.
Who cares?
But it's Meryl Streep.
I
It's
know, right?
impossible
She'll
for her
make
to
a
not
big
steal the
appearance.
show.
I think the biggest takeaway from this trailer, though, is their mix with the 2D animation, because that was a big staple in the first Mary Poppins, and now they did this with the newer one. It's like totally brings it back.
I'm always kind of iffy about remakes, just because I'm like, oh god, the first one was so good that I'm afraid that the new one is going to ruin it. But if it's done well, it can be super cool.
This one I feel like will do it well.
Again, Meryl Streep.
Yes. Well, after the break, find out which act is the front runner to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the nearly 4,100 dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge, and your help, we can save them all.
Now moving into the world of music. Maroon 5 is the frontrunner to perform at the biggest show in America, the Super Bowl halftime show. Now Maroon 5 is the frontrunner, meaning that they haven't been officially selected, but they have a pretty good chance. Maroon 5 is the band led by singer Adam Levine, and they have a lot of songs to choose from to perform, with their first major album being released in 2002. The Super Bowl in Atlanta will be the 53rd of its kind, and if Maroon 5 is selected, they will go down in history along with the amazing other halftime show performers. Jenna, are you a Maroon 5 girl?
I like Maroon 5 as
Yeah?
a band.
Yes.
Now, I would like to know, you said they're a front runner, so there could be I just like to see the other options.
Yeah.
Because for Super Bowl, I guess I'm just used to like Lady Gaga and Beyonce. I want to see like the glam and the whatever. Mm-hmm. And not that they can't bring the glam, I just, want to see more than lights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that, but I live, breathe, and die on the hill of Maroon 5. So, I mean, Adam Levine, Super Bowl halftime show, I'm all for it, but that is a good point because they don't really have that, like,
dancing.
Pizzazz, yes. And, like Beyonce, like hers was iconic. Prince, like, those kind of performances are the ones you never forget. Can Maroon 5 do that? Maybe. It would be, we'd have to see, but I would be interested to see who the other options would be. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is really good points. But girls like you, haha, should all have opinions. But I don't know.
If they brought out Cardi B.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
That would be it. That would be all over the
That's
news.
what I'm saying. Like Adam Levine, like his Girls Like You video, he had so many different women. Like he could bring out J-Lo. He could bring out Cardi B. You just
Wait, hold on. Now I'm excited.
Now she's on board.
See, I can convince you. I don't know. I love Adam Levine. I've been a fan for years, so you never know what he can pull off.
Well, let's just see. Were you guys a big fan of Justin Timberlake?
No, I love him as a person, but I wanted to, not that I didn't like it, I just wanted to see
Not a fan.
more.
And
I
then
agree
Alexis?
100%.
More than
Yeah,
like-
I
Not a
like
fan.
him, but not for
And
the
then
Super
you?
Bowl.
See, I liked it.
See, we'll see if Maroon 5 does better than Justin. Well, it's always so exciting when a Broadway production releases a cast album because you can picture the entire show in your imagination without the limitations of going to the theater. Well, a new cast album has been released for the 2018's musical adaptation of Pretty Woman. The album includes 20 songs and is available for purchase or to stream online. Alexis, are you a big musical person?
I did theater in high school and I absolutely loved it, and it's so much fun, and I love going to musicals and plays, like as birthday gifts all the time. My parents get me tickets to go see stuff like that, so I do love that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think something like this is super cool. Pretty Woman is such a classic. I mean, everybody knows what it is, even if you've never like seen it or anything. Yeah. And I think it's cool to have that accessibility of saying like, I love this show and now I can like listen to it whenever I want. And so for people who are big musical fans or Pretty Woman specifically, that's pretty exciting for them. So that's kind of cool, I think.
I agree. I mean, I am more so a Wicked fan, so I always listen to the Wicked soundtrack.
Yes.
Always, so I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Is Julia Roberts gonna have a cameo?
No, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm wondering.
Real
It's
question.
it's all Broadway actresses and actors. But let me tell you, this
Can she sing?
who?
Julia Roberts?
Oh, who knows? She has probably an Oscar under her belt, but there's like this new surge of cast albums being released. I mean, you had Newsies back in 2012, and that sort of started the movement because this year we had Mean Girls, the Mean Girls musical. That cast album blew me away. This Pretty Woman, not Little Women, but this one's really good. I listened to the first couple songs and I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
Well, moving away from that, when we get back from the break, we have a little local segment for you. Check in with us after the break.
Welcome to Husky Tonight.
Yesterday, I just polished off a whole pack of Capri Sun, and tonight, I'm whipping out the hard stuff. Danimals. How can you do that?
I banged the thing! Hockey ain't even a real sport.
I'm sorry, bud, but you're gonna have to make like Toronto and leave.
You wanna hear fat?
What's your name?
I don't know.
Some more.
What's he doing?
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? He has asked for more!
Thank you.
Well, he did say please.
Yes, he did. And thank you.
Please, and thank you. Pass it on.
Thank you.
searching for a Well, moving away from the movies and music and onto the stage. Chanhassen Dinner Theater, the Minnesota-based theater company, is closing their musical Newsies this weekend. Newsies is a musical about the real-life newsboy strike of 1899, when the newsboy union went up against the press companies. Chanhassen's version of the musical started way back on March 2nd, meaning that this musical has been on the main stage for 6 months and now is finally closing. Bree, did you get a chance to see Newsies at Chanhassen?
I geeked the whole time, but of course I did. It's just, Chanhassen is one of those experiences every time you're blown away. Like, the actors, the set, the lights, and just, you can see the dedication that the actors give. And the fact that it's been up for 6 months, that's crazy. So I'm sad to see it go, but I'm pretty sure Mamma Mia is the next show.
Yes,
It'll
it
probably
is.
be back too, honestly.
Oh,
They
yeah.
always bring back.
They do. They did that with Grease.
They did that with Beauty and the Beast, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Kenny, I want to know how you feel though.
You guys, I've seen the show 5 times, and I'm going to the closing night. So
on
6.
average, once a month. Because it's running for 6 months.
Oh yeah. On average, once a month I see it. You know me. But you guys, I love everything about this music. It's my favorite one. Alexis, you're a performer. If you were performing in this show for 6 months, what would that be like?
I mean, that's a long time, and you can attest to this too. But I mean, putting together a show, it's a lot of work, and especially musicals is a lot more people than just a play. And especially a big musical like that, like you want to make that, you want to perform it well. People know what it is, so they have expectations of it. And 6 months is a long time to keep practicing your lines, practicing the dances, and like all that kind of stuff. And so it's impressive that they've been able to run it for this long. And props to the actors for being able to do that for this long, because that is a lot of dedication.
From my experience acting at Chanhassen when I was younger, it's weird because it almost just feels like a regular job, though. You know, you go to your desk, you do your typical work, and then you leave. Well, you know, when you have a show that's running for that long, your lines are just like natural. You know, it's just like asking, "Oh, did you get this done?" You know, but instead you're singing and you're dancing, and it's way more fun. And I feel like if it's a show that you absolutely love, the 6 months goes by like that. If it's something that you're not necessarily attached to, then that's a different story.
Ooh, that would be.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Especially in a character that you don't necessarily like or don't think that you can master well. It's a different dynamic, and I'm sure it's different for everyone in the cast.
Well, and then of course, I get all the underground news about this, but the main actress who played Catherine, she was pregnant during the thing. And so they had to eventually replace her because she just got too far in her trimesters.
That happened in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Yep, the main narrator, I believe in the first run of it, she actually did get pregnant.
Okay.
And then she, you know, just was replaced with the understudy as soon as she wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that happen when you have something running that long. I mean, that's half
real
a
life.
year. Yeah,
But
it is
that's
what
real
it is.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these are
for
real
sure.
people, so.
Well, we hope you can make it and made it to Newsies this year. Coming up, a famous singer is ready to rock Minnesota this Friday. Well, following his Super Bowl halftime show performance, Justin Timberlake is coming back to Minnesota to play music from his most recent album, Man of the Woods, with the most recognized song from that album being Filthy. Guys, are you like headed to this concert, or what's going on, or what are your main thoughts?
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Jenna. What do you think?
We're coming full circle here. With
We
Justin
really are, aren't we?
I did like his album, actually. I liked Filthy. It was kind of like one of those that I turned on in my car, and I think I literally said, oh, what is this? But that's my take on it. I don't know if I'll actually go to the concert, though.
Yeah.
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm not going to the concert. I know some people who are, but I like Justin Timberlake better in his older days, like NSYNC. Like, give me more of that. That's the Justin Timberlake I love. I wasn't like opposed to the album. I remember when it came out, I started listening to some of the songs. I was like, okay, they're good, but it's not the Justin Timberlake
There's only
I love.
a couple that you're like, good.
He just seems a little out of his element. I don't know. And maybe that was the purpose with it. Some artists like to take that kind of artistically. But for me, I liked his older stuff better.
I'm babysitting a child which his parents get to go and they have backstage passes, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, like you said, NSYNC, that would be bomb. Who's
I'd
opening?
go to that concert.
Who's opening for him?
I'm not exactly sure, but I bet most of these like big artists, like Taylor Swift had Camila Cabello and Charli XCX,
which is
I don't know
huge.
if I don't know if Justin Timberlake is on the same level as Taylor,
I
where
think
they
he's
could do
bigger.
it.
Yeah,
He's bigger than Taylor Swift.
Well, what kind of artists do you think would have?
I don't know.
Would be
Like,
the
who would
opener?
open
With
for
his
him?
new element, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
could
I
see
Do you
can
that.
almost
think-
see the weekend.
Do you think they would have? Do you think Justin would have a newer artist or one that's already established?
I think newer. He's going for a different sound, so he would go for someone who's going to bring him back into the relevant music.
I feel like his child is really like try to make him hip.
Yeah.
But like his classic stuff works for people, so
Yeah.
maybe he should go after
And what classic songs, if you were at the concert, which ones?
Well, Sexy Back.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Cry Me
Of
a
course.
River,
Just
Mirror.
Sing that for
Yes.
30 minutes and I'd be fine with that.
Sing it
And
a cappella.
Concert done.
Whatever. He could sing the alphabet. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like literally, he's talented.
true.
Yes, and then during the Super Bowl, he didn't have much flash and pizzazz, but do you think he can bring that back for this concert?
Yeah.
In one word, yeah?
Probably. Yeah.
I think he's a good performer. Like, he's fun to watch, and like I said, even in his NSYNC days, like, those were fun performances, and he does have that about him. Like, he's such a versatile, like, performer, like, acting and dancing and
Yes.
singing. Like, he can do it all. So I think he can definitely recreate
Okay.
it.
Like a
I would
creative
interest-
genius.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You know?
I definitely think there are standards for the Super Bowl, though, and
Yeah.
I just don't
Yes,
think
and
it's
I don't think-
fair technically
I don't think he
because
lived
you
up
know
to
he
it
was trying
either.
to, like Jenna said, he's living up to
Yes.
Gaga, Beyonce, and
Yeah.
everything.
So
So
maybe on his own he could do it? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on Entertainment 30, your source for all the celebrity news. See you next time.